Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Welcome to New Life Live. Really glad you're with us here today. And joining me, Dr. Alice Benton.
Hello,
Hi, Alice.
Steve.
Chris Williams.
Yes, good to be here with you guys.
It's good to be with you and all of you. If you want to join us, we do try to give people a little bit of advice around here from not just a sound perspective, but a biblically sound perspective. Maybe even some things you weren't expecting, if you're thinking about it. 1-800-229-3000, that'd be the number to call. 1-800-229-3000. I was just noticing today that there are about 940 Saturdays that you've got between the time your child is born and when they turn 18. Now, if you multiply 18 times 12, that's about how many summer Saturdays you have, or maybe with the shortened summers and longer school years, it's 8 times 18. Anyway, here's the point. You don't have many. So we want to create some memories. And I hope and pray that you are planning on creating a memory or two with your kids. And it doesn't mean you have to spend a bunch of money, but you have to do it on purpose. You have to say, that afternoon, that evening, that day, it's the zoo, it's the park, whatever you've got. If you don't have a zoo, take a white cat and put black dots on it. Put it in a cage. Tell the kids this is our, whatever you need to do to entertain or create a memory. Help your kids have some fun and remember that mom and dad weren't all serious all the time. That's what we really need to do.
You know, Steve, my wife and I were just talking last night about the busyness of our current schedule. And how it's just so different than it was last year. We talked about wanting to hold on to the lessons that we learned during shelter in place and the season of COVID-19. As hard and difficult as it was, we as a family went camping more. We went explored nature more. We went to places that were obviously open and safe. But we spent more intentional time, slower time together, and we had lost that over this last season as things have opened back up and wanting to get back to it. And I just think that that's so important that we're afraid that we're going to miss opportunity through activity, but I think it's the opposite. We miss opportunity by not slowing down.
That is so true. Anyway, if you need some ideas, you could even call us. We'd give you an idea or two, but we really do think that kids need parents that are intentional, on purpose, and don't use any excuse not to do something fun, exciting, or different with those kids. And I know a lot of you are really single parents and you struggle and it's not easy. I get that. But anyway, that's our job to do it. Got a brand new book out. It's called The Soul of a Hero. And there are 7 secrets to being a hero as a man, and there's also a really good definition of a hero that's a man, and it's not just a guy that comes in and scoops people up, but it's a guy that has a sense of meaning and purpose.
That's good.
And a spirit of adventure, and knows his place in God's eyes and his purpose on earth, and really enjoys, here's a good one, healthy relationships. That's what he enjoys. That's all in this brand new book. Dr. Dave Stoop and I did this. It's the last book we ever did together, The Soul of a Hero. And if you support this ministry, gift of any amount, we're going to send it to you. And as our way of saying thank you for helping us help others. And we have so many folks that help us help others, and we are very grateful. 1-800-229-3000. That is the phone number to call if you want to be with us. 1-800-229-3000. We'll take a break and come right back after this.
I came into this thinking
that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop is coming to Washington, D.C., July 23rd to the 25th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
And New Life's group counselors will help you focus on the area that will benefit your marriage most. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here, and it is Father's Day coming up, and it is a time to focus on men, dads, and all of that. And a great gift is every man's Bible. And that Bible is number 6 on the best-selling Bible list. And the Life Recovery Bible is number 2. And The Soul of a Hero, Every Man's Bible, great gifts for Father's Day. You can get those at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Listen to this quote. George Orwell said this. I think it's so good. Men can only be happy when they do not assume that the object of life is happiness. Now, isn't that absolutely the truth? We know that to be true. That's kind of biblical, George. And it really is. We find out that when we're after making other people happy, that's when life kind of gets happy for us. Research shows that.
Well, Steve, I think one of the most neglected parts of our lives, and especially as a father, is I realize more and more that the condition of my interior life directly impacts my ability to show up as a husband, as a father. And I think that us guys historically have neglected our interior life and even at times said that, that's, for other people or other things, not realizing, as Scripture tells us, that it is from our heart in which everything else flows.
Yeah.
And yet when we neglect our heart, that really impacts all of our relationships, but especially the ability to show up as the dad that we would like to be.
But if we try to pursue happiness as an end in and of itself, we get ourselves into trouble, we get into addictive behaviors, selfish pursuits, but we do need to pursue our own emotional stability and even our own serenity, because we love better when we're serene on the inside.
Absolutely. And that's really the heart of the recovery movement. The heart of the recovery movement is to discover and cultivate a sense of peace or serenity with God, self, and others. It's really living out of the greatest commandment. And the greatest commandment just has so much practical wisdom in real time, is that when we are properly connected in a love relationship with God, ourself, and other people, that life really does work. Our operational procedures are at work, and thriving increases there.
We have all of this wisdom in Scripture for us. It's really all there, and what we try to do in working with people with emotional or mental or whatever you want to call it, issues and problems, is we try to bring some kind of sense to your life, but the sense that we have, it all matches up with biblical sense. For instance, the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I mean, if you only had that one verse out of the Bible, you would be trying to make other people happy because you would like other people to make you happy, or be nice to you. Be nice to them because you'd like people to be nice to you. All of those, just think of life, how different it would be if you just had that one little golden rule, that one piece of truth. But you have so much more, and it's probably the most neglected, wisdom-packed Bible, best-selling, but least read compared to the wisdom that's there. And they're just, I never apologize for asking people to get back into the Bible. You might say, well, it's hard to understand. Well, there are some places that are hard to understand, but I don't want to shock you. But there's some really smart people that have taken those difficult to understand verses and they've studied them. They've gone back to the Greek, the Hebrew, Pig Latin, whatever it was. They've studied it and they've come up with insights that help you understand why that really is truth that can be trusted. And so if we will look at that scripture, the parts that we can't understand, there are people that know about that, but there's so much more that we can't. Humble yourself before God. That's not difficult to understand. It works for everybody.
Well, and I think, when we look at certain parts of Scripture, like the Gospel of Luke talks about healing and forgiveness over and over and over. It really shows it in the life of Jesus, because our ability to deal with life well, to show up with love and compassion, with wisdom, and even with effectiveness when we're carrying around pain is really, really hampered. Pain is self-obsessive. It demands our attention, and it also puts us in a really negative spot. And so the pain that we carry around, we're trying to live a faithful life, but our pain is constantly interrupting that and interfering with that. And so hope and healing in life's hardest places is really about just carrying on the ministry of Jesus to free us a little bit more and more and more from our pain, so we can, again, show up better to God's will in our lives and in the lives of other people. And so we're following not some pop psychology modern, trend. We're really following a pattern that Jesus laid out before us over 2,000 years ago.
When we were working on this book about heroes, Dave and I were saying, okay, so where does it all begin? And we looked at the teachings of Christ that would impact a man, that would have an impact on being a hero. And essentially what Christ was saying kind of starts very small. It starts coming to him as a child. You don't come to Jesus as a guru. You come to Jesus as a child who is open, who is willing to look at different things, who knows that they don't know everything. When you approach things in that way, the world starts to open up. But a lot of times us men, we feel like we have to compensate for these feelings of inadequacy, and we do that by acting like we know everything. We don't know everything. We don't know much at all if we're not looking at God's Word day after day and reading it.
The other aspect of that is we don't realize that our limitations, our inadequacies are actually our spiritual superpowers. Meaning this is that I like the line, the end of ourselves is the beginning of God. And it's actually a dependency of God that is our greatest strength. And that's why he loves the humble so much.
Yeah.
Humility is really attractive too. People that, if we take the stance that we know it all and we don't admit to our ignorance, we don't admit to our vulnerability, it keeps people at arm's length and can even repel other people from us. But humble admission of ignorance is really inviting.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you, I've had a little motto in my life, and a lot of people might benefit from this. Try to look as few times as often to look stupid. I mean, just try to not sign up to look stupid very frequently. And a lot of times we know what we're doing isn't the right thing. We know, and we just keep faking it. But the authentic man who wants to be the hero humbles himself before God, admits that he doesn't know everything, and then becomes open to what it is that God has designed me to be. Some people say you need to bloom or blossom where you're planted. But maybe a better saying is you need to go plant yourself where God would like you to bloom and blossom. Maybe that's a better thing. And a lot of times we're just out there thinking about what is the thing that, I'd have the most fun doing or whatever, but sometimes the fun stuff doesn't produce the meaningful things. And that's what we're trying to get people to, is to a place of meaning and purpose, not just a fleeting feeling of happiness. We want joy over happiness. We want joy and happiness. Anyway, all of that said, let's go to our phones, 1-800-229-3000. Let's go to Karen. Hi, Karen. How are you today?
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's going on?
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for your ministry. I have a brother who suffers from schizophrenia, and he has not taken his medication, nor has he seen his psychiatrist since February.
Okay.
So I am meeting with him tomorrow, and my question is, if he refuses to go with me to see his doctor, do I have any, for instance, could I go to the court and get some sort of court order so that I could, force him to get some help for himself?
Yeah, every state's a little bit different. Sometimes communities are different. But there is a system whereby people that need help can be forced to at least be evaluated for a certain time. But you have to meet certain criteria to do that. But, the sad thing, Karen, is that the medication for a schizophrenic has been so developed and refined, just even over the past 10 years, 5 years, that if he would take his medication, it would be shocking. If he would stay on it, how normal or close to normal his life could be. Chris, Alice, what are you guys thinking on this?
Yeah, you may already be doing this, Karen, but I would just encourage you to keep having an honest and compassionate conversation. And the compassionate starts with just really empathizing with his struggle, with his mental health issues, and that they're real and that they really do impact not just him, but they impact people around him. But a very strong honesty around, and it's necessary because this is a medical decision that you stay in medical treatment around it, because it makes your life better, it makes the rest of our lives better, and I love you, and I can't support this illness, but I can support your wellness. And so I would, and I think that that's just a real strong, that you got to hold to, a boundary that you got to hold to. But hey, I'm all in to support your wellness, but I'm going to have to set a lot more boundaries if you're going to stay in your illness.
Do you know why he doesn't take his medication? Because some people, they just outright say, I hate the way it makes me feel. Other people, they just don't have a system, or they don't have the ability to do it on a regular basis. What does he say to you about the medication?
Well, his is a little bit more complicated. 11 years ago, he's never been willing, I would say, to take his medication. 11 years ago, it was court ordered, so he gets a shot every month from his doctor. Mm-hmm. But since I've noticed recently some, I'll just say, mental health issues, delusions, I found out that he hasn't gotten his shot since February. And so that's part of my conversation tomorrow, because he was really on a good path for 11 years, and now he's refusing to go get his shot.
That's horrible. Really horrible.
I know he won't. I know he won't take the medication because he never. That's why we have the court-ordered shot.
But here's something.
It's just really been hard because I can't. The doctor, rightly so, won't give me any information, and I understand that.
Well, but I would tell him that you want him to give the physician permission to tell you when he doesn't take his shot. Like a minimum level of your involvement is you at least have to let the nurse over there tell me, Bobby was supposed to get his shot today, and he didn't get it. So it's not June that you're finding out he hasn't taken it since February. So that's what I would be saying to him. Give me, let's go down there and let's sign the release. They need to tell me, because I know when you don't want to take it, but we all know how well you've done once you do take it. I can help you get over the hump of resistance so that you take it.
Okay, perfect. Some of this language that you're using is perfect for my discussion tomorrow, and I appreciate it so much.
You know, someone like you that truly loves and cares for him is such a gift to him. And I hope he understands what a gift you are to him. And, well, we'll take a break. We'll come right back with more. 1-800-229-3000. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. A lot of people are in, you could literally say, in bondage from past trauma that has created an emotional web that they don't understand, and it prevents them from being free. A person that loses their temper regularly is not emotionally free. Someone who has anxiety just to get in the car and leave the house is not emotionally free. And walking around with the shame from a childhood or even a bad relationship as an adult, that is not emotional freedom, and we can help you get there.
The New Life Emotional Freedom Online Workshop is Saturday, August 14th. Steve Arterburn and Chris Williams will present information on the power of our emotions, procrastination, guilt and shame, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or register online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of the 8 books in the Arterburn Wellness series, including Understanding and Loving a Person with Bipolar Disorder and Understanding and Loving a Person with Narcissistic Personality Disorder. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here, and it is Chris Williams. Chris and I are going to be doing the Emotional Freedom Intensive. That's in August. And if you are not free and you're emotional, then we could help you with that. That's what it's all about. And, you know, we really have. I've literally been so shocked and pleased at the results of people that have come, whether it's depression or anxiety, whatever you're dealing with, shame. We can help you, but you have to call us and come be involved. It's called Emotional Freedom, and that's our intensive in August. This weekend is Every Man's Battle, and if you've listened to this program very much, you've heard the stories of what you're doing to your family if that's your problem. It doesn't have to be. It could end this weekend. And I mentioned yesterday, we have all of these stories of people that were ripping out the heart of their marriage. They were distant from their kids because they were so ashamed of themselves. Now they are running groups or they're supporting ministries. They're responsible for hundreds of guys getting better and marriages staying together. And before, all they were doing was looking at dirty pictures of different types or having affairs, and now they're truly heroes of the faith. It's unbelievable. I interviewed a couple yesterday for Life Recovery Today. I think it'll air in a couple of weeks. But they'd been married all this time. He was having some affairs with prostitutes and things. She catches him. He gets so into recovery that she remarries him. And now at their church, they started a group a year ago. It's got 50 people coming to their group getting help for various types of things. So here's a guy who's just living this duplicitous life separate from his wife. Now they're a team helping other people. That could be your story. Let's go to the phones and talk with, how about we talk with Maria? Sacramento, California is where she's calling from. Hi there. How are you today?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. I'm in a really weird time in my life, and well, it's been weird for a while, and it's not funny. I'm just laughing because I'm nervous. I was married to my high school sweetheart, and we had a great marriage, and he died. And he died young. He died when he was 28. Wow. And I was 5 years younger than him. Yeah, so I was 23.
So sad.
And it was very sad. Sorry, I can still cry.
Wow. That's okay.
But I ended up remarrying, and it was fine until we started having children, and then he became very abusive, not only to me but to our children too. And so. And it was all of a sudden, and he was an abused child too, but I never thought he would do that to our children, and it was ridiculous. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. I never laid a hand on any of my children. I was an abused child too, and but I know, and my mom used to say, "You just wait till you get older and you have kids, you'll do the same thing." I said, "No, I will never lay a hand on my kids."
Well, let me ask you a quick question. How do you think he wormed his way into your life as an abusive person? How did that happen? Any idea?
I don't know. He didn't seem like he was abusive. It seemed like when I met him, he was always happy. He always had a smile on his face. He told jokes all the time. He made me laugh. He made everybody that was around him laugh. And
two questions real quick. How long was it after your first husband died that you started dating him?
About 3 years.
3 years. And how long did you date once you started dating?
We dated for about a year and a half, and then we started talking about marriage. And
that seems like a really good kind of time frame there. Nothing rushed there.
I wanted to be very careful.
Yeah. So what's the question for us then?
Well, I've not met anybody since. I'm now 60 years old, and my children are grown. I've not met anybody since. I'm still having the same problems with my family that I have always. I'm trying to love them, and I believe that I do love them, and that's why there's two different problems there, so I kind of don't even want to get into that. But I'm alone, and I'm 60 years old, and I would love to find a partner. I think I'm a wonderful wife. And I've been a wonderful wife, and I think that I can find a wonderful man, but I've not been able to find one.
Okay. Well,
and I don't know why.
Alice found a wonderful man. Maybe we got to go to a break here. When we come back, maybe Alice can tell you how she found a wonderful man, and we'll give you some help here. I've got some ideas for you. Ideas other than you giving out your phone number here over the air. I think maybe this could be the beginning of something great. And I'm really glad that you called, because you have so much life ahead of you, and I would hope that you could find a very healthy, happy person that could spend that with you. I know of some situations where some people that were really in crummy states, somebody came along and they got together and just fell in love and got married, and the latter years of their life were great. I just think that can still happen for you and a lot of other people, but we have to do our best to make it happen. We'll be back.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. We're talking with a wonderful person named Maria, maybe just like you, would love to find somebody to spend the rest of her life with. She thinks she's, got what it takes to be a great, great companion, and I bet that that's true. Alice has been in deep prayer ever since we went to the break to come up with wisdom that will have you married within a year. Go ahead, Alice. What do you got?
Well, Maria, I want to check on your fear of increasing your availability and increasing your interactions with new men and new women as you want to pursue this desire to be in relationship. But to hear that you have been through such a horrifically abusive marriage, the loss of your first husband, and your abusive childhood, sister, you are up against a lot. So tell me your greatest fear about re-entering the dating world.
Well, when I was younger, I had a really difficult time finding somebody that I wanted to date. People would ask me to, the men that asked me to date weren't the men that I was really interested in, because I was interested in, dating somebody that was a Christian. And I was also interested in, somebody that, I don't know, it was weird, but every single friend that I had, and I'd never heard this before, so I thought that it was not a lie, but I just thought it was an excuse. Every friend I had, all of their husbands used to say, you know what, the problem, Maria, is that you're so beautiful inside, and not only are you beautiful inside, but you're beautiful outside, and the men that you want to have to ask you out are too afraid to ask you out.
And I want to hear your fear. Tell me what you're afraid of. I'm afraid that what?
I really don't know. I guess I'm afraid of rejection. I'm afraid of finding somebody and finding out that that's not really who they are. Like my last husband, thinking that he was a wonderful person and a Christian, and finding out that he wasn't that. Once we had children, he completely changed. Other than that, I don't know what my fears are. I don't know. And I'm sure I have
Maria, let me jump in here really quickly. And I want to challenge this. Okay, so your husband didn't become a completely different person. Your husband showed up as who he is. and your
Oh, that's
and
true.
and
Yeah,
having
I see that.
and having children revealed that. So there's two things going on here.
Mhm.
When you were talking about how you met this guy who was fun, who was loving, he laughed a lot, kind of, it sounds like the jovial life of the party type of guy. But every single one of us has a shadow side. Every single one of us has this pain or difficulty or struggles or sin that we have going on in our lives. And it didn't sound like you knew this other side of him. And that became the problem.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, you're very right.
Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing that I think is more important is not how do you find a guy, is how do you be okay with you? And
Okay.
you're talking a lot about your past and your history, an abusive childhood, including abusive husband, and the painful loss of your first husband. Is that I believe your history is still active today. And of course, there is the fear of rejection. There's the fear that I'm going to be less than. And what that does is it prevents us from going to the deeper areas of life, to greater intimacy, meaning knowing a person, and really how we love is a great resource for that, in the sense that it helps us both understand and talk about our histories, how we got to where we are today, but also in being able to heal those in the context of relationship, and a lot of times the relationship with ourselves. And so I'm sure you, and I hear it, you are a beautiful person inside and out, but I actually want a person to know the things about you that are not beautiful and love you there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, let me go ahead, Alice, finish up there.
Well, Maria, you develop that through strengthening your sisterhood with female friends. You develop that through purposefully pursuing the pain of the past so that it no longer holds the same weight over you, and probably doing it in the structure of therapy. And then lastly, I think you broaden what you're looking for, because you're looking for just the right guy, the right Christian, so that you can avoid the problems that you had before. But I think that allowing yourself to be willing to talk with a wide variety of men so that you can practice and so that you can figure out what you want and what you're looking for, but you do it by talking to a lot of people.
Well, yes, and I'm going to send you, Is This the One? Because it's all about finding people to talk to. But let's just say you didn't want to hear about your past and pain and all that, and you wanted to hear, how do I get married? So, in our experience, the people your age, 60, 50, 60, 70, that find someone to be a companion with, they go ahead and do what maybe they've resisted. They sign up for 2 or 3 Christian dating sites. They start to do some things they've never done before. They volunteer at places where other healthy people of the opposite sex volunteer. They learn new hobbies and skills. They go take an art class. They don't do it online. They go to some place. They learn how to do pottery. They do woodworking. They hang out at the hardware store. I don't know, but they're just places that you go other than home and watch television in the evening. They get involved in a big church that has a lot of people that are doing different things. They don't just go to the singles group or whatever, but they're serving and they're ministering in a big church with a lot of people. And they let people know. Like Alice was saying, they have female friends, and they let them know, I would love to meet somebody, and I am not afraid to meet somebody new and be with them. Those are the things we can do to open up our lives to new relationships and new opportunities.
And we have to flip rejection over on its head rather than letting the fear of rejection control us. It'd be like, I'm not going to go look for a job until I know I'm going to get the job I'm looking for. But that's not going to work. I have to go out knowing I'm going to be rejected a lot of times before I find the right job for me. And I'm going to say no to some jobs. I'm going to say no to some men because they're not the right men for me. It's boldly being braced and prepared for that, knowing that it's just a natural part of the process.
Well, all right. Yeah, so I'm going to send you. Is this the one? I was looking at our people that call in. Someone said I'd like to meet her. So we will be a dating site there. No, I'm not kidding.
Are you kidding?
And he says he's been a widow for 3 years, and he'd love to meet someone like you. So anyway, maybe we'll get the two of you together.
We've got a whole new program. We've got a matchmaking service here. I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad you called. I'll send you. Is this the one? I hope you like it, and we'll see. How Howard's doing here, and we'll interview him. Make sure he's safe. All right, 1-800-229-3000. We're more than a dating service. We can actually help you to change your life. And helping us do that, Larry Sonnenberg's in the studio. Larry, what do you have for us?
Well, Steve, we're still on. I'm still kind of soaking in the match, and I just want to say thank you to everybody. Mm-hmm. It's been an incredible response that you folks have done for New Life and for many, many people who will benefit by their connection with this ministry. We're still getting mail from May, and we're probably going to be $25,000 over by the end of today.
Wow!
When we met.
Hallelujah!
And it's just amazing. So I want to read a testimony. Every Man's Battle's coming up next week.
Yeah.
I was not looking forward to this conference, but it ended up being one of the best things I've ever done. Sexual addiction is an isolating addiction. It's lonely and filled with shame. Here I had brothers that loved me, cared for me, and treated me like a man, not a sick pervert.
Mm.
They have struggled too, and I was able to be supportive of their journey. I believe now that Christ still loves me, that his pain on the cross covers my sins too. I know I have a lot of work to do, and this isn't going to be easy, but with my brothers in Christ, I can overcome. I will be able to do this with their support.
Wow.
So I'm speechless. What happens at these workshops is amazing. Even a one-day Zoom makes guys go from the feeling of I don't want to come, I don't want to be here, I don't like this, to thinking God loves me, I can do this, I've got brothers, I've got support. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
I
love it that he talked about shame. It's not there, and it won't be there for you, and we'll help you with it. 1-800-NEW-LIFE to help us. 1-800-NEW-LIFE to sign up for Every Man's Battle. Everybody wins when both of those things happen. We'll be back after this.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, a physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Dallas, Texas, June 25th through the 27th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of the 8 books in the Arterburn Wellness series. including understanding and loving a person with depression and understanding and loving a person with alcohol and drug addiction. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Let's go to Richard. He's got a comment that I think we all need to hear. Richard, how you doing there? Glad to have you on the program. You have something you want to say.
I do. My question is, especially leading up to Father's Day, can you guys make a stronger effort to really tell men how wonderful they are? And the reason for my question, there's got to be a safe place in the society for men. We are really in a society where the role of the woman, the position of the woman has been esteemed so high that men get little to no respect. I mean, we're portrayed in every media aspect as just bumbling idiots that can't tie our shoes without a woman somewhere telling us what to do and how to do it. We're just not a bunch of pervs sitting around watching porn. One of the fastest growing segments of pornography use is in the women.
Yeah, that's true.
But what happens, men are constantly just demonizing. There's a lot of us really good guys out here working really hard, doing a lot of good things. But, man, in this society, there's nowhere we can be and feel like, okay, we actually matter. We're valued.
Yeah.
As we come up on Father's Day, we just finished Mother's Day. There are a lot of fathers that will never be esteemed by their children or the society the way mothers. I mean, we make Mother's Day like the crown royal of all holidays, and Father's Day is just a passing glance.
Yeah.
And we got to do a better job at making men feel like, okay, you know what, you do matter in this society.
Yeah.
And we have some resources to make sure you matter.
Well, let me tell you, I of course I totally agree with you, and because I'm a man, I tend to talk more about men's problems than women's problems. My wife, I've told many people, did a group for women that struggle with sexual addiction, many of them pornography. But it is good to be reminded and to remind people that just because we're a ministry that helps men that have problems transform doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of guys out there doing it right. Most of them have struggled with something and found a way to deal with it. They've dealt with the battle within before they've tried to go win the war out there. And I think it's a really good reminder for all of us, Richard. I'm going to send you Every Man's Bible as just our way of saying thanks for a really, really good comment there. Let's go to Howard. Howard, how are you, Howard? You're calling from WAVA. I think you're the guy that said he liked what this lady was saying, or you're interested.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Steve and all the gang. I don't really have any problems. I've been really pretty fortunate that way. Always been pretty good, and I've been a widower now for over 3 years. And I just was listening to that little lady's story, and it really sounded. I didn't want to, come on the show for that. They'd take up the other time with people who really have problems.
Yeah,
but
right.
I just, just heard that, and I thought maybe I could be the answer to it or something. Maybe we could meet or somehow, because I've always been looking for a Christian woman. I haven't been able to find anybody together that to match up with me, and I just myself just I guess about 3.5 years now. I've been a widower and just turned. And I'm looking.
Well, Howard,
I've been looking for someone for a good companion.
Howard, we'll interview you and vet you here as a holy, godly man. Maybe we'll check with her and see if we ought to get the two of you together. And if it all works out, I'd be happy to come and marry you. But we'll see. Let's don't get the cart before the horse. Anyway, we've never done that before. All right, let's go real quick. Got time for one caller. We're going to do another program after this, and you can join us at 1-800-229-3000. But Lee, don't have a lot of times. You're from Indianapolis. Wanted to get to your call. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi.
I'm fine. I'll speak fast. This is a miracle. I pretty much was crying and asking the Lord regarding this situation, an adult daughter. And I just called your number to actually speak to you, not online. I didn't know you were on. And the lady said, well, why don't you just get on the line? So,
well, what's going on?
I have an adult daughter who came to stay with me through COVID and declined into while with me, some doctors, psychiatrists said schizophreniform. And if it wasn't treated, it could get worse.
Oh, dear.
Also, some paranoia. It has turned into delusion. Currently now she's out of state, has been homeless, and she has been making calls to different friends and families regarding friends, a particular person she had a relationship with, spreading not very good things regarding this person.
Okay, so ask a question here, because we really are just about out of time, and I can talk to you off the air at some point. Yeah.
Thank you. How do you help an adult person who has been diagnosed with this, but also has, I believe, a very strong narcissistic personality and does not feel anything's wrong, and she's keeping herself from help?
Yeah. Well, and she's out of state. Chris, you want to give us a fast anything you can think of to help?
Yeah, I think that out of state, if she, you may have to go to the state that she's in and try to get her help. And the help that you're going to, depending on how far she's deteriorated, it's going to be a little bit challenging, because you're going to need a legal support through this process. And I've seen families do this, and they go and if she has proven to herself to be a danger to herself, others, or severely incapacitated or incompetent, you could get her admitted and into a hospital to get evaluation and to get on medication.
She's very intelligent, and she speaks very clearly, and I've been told for the whole year, and even currently when I did a missing person, she can talk her way out of it, and they will not touch her.
Lee, you might also consider an intervention. We have to wonder about substance use as part of this. And so having a lead who knows how to do a professional structured intervention to look at any leveraging tools that you have, because your power and influence over an adult daughter is limited. But an interventionist would help you to strategize, to word correctly, and give it your best effort to have an effect on her.
Well, I wish we had more time, and I can talk to you at another time about this. How frustrating. Maybe somebody's listening, and somebody said to you, oh, you need help, and you think, no, I don't. Maybe you do, and maybe hearing some of this, you could be open to that help that you don't think that you need. If you're struggling, we want you to call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We've got people there that really do want to help you. And we'll do another program after this. That phone number to get on the air is 1-800-229-3000. I really believe that Satan, one of his best tools, is what you might call psychic blindness or emotional numbness or whatever. He just separates people from the reality of their particular condition. And it's so tragic, and it's so sad. God really is the light of the world, and Satan loves to dispense darkness into the heart of people who struggle. We're here trying to do God's work, to try to bring some light. Some of these situations, they just seem impossible. Do not stop praying, because we've seen miraculous breakthroughs in hopeless and helpless situations. So never, ever stop praying that God might intervene, or things might shift, or Satan might give up and move on to somebody else. We need everything we can going for us, and anybody with a struggle needs us and prayer and God and the Holy Spirit and all of that together. 1-800-NEW-LIFE is the number to call if you need some help. By the way, don't forget Father's Day coming up, the soul of a hero. that book is available there, and we'll give it to you for a gift of any amount. 1-800-229-3000 to join us on this next program. Hope you will.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.